Everyone, Tom and his guests in the Spring Kitchen.
It's springtime and we have a show packed full of seasonal recipes and entertaining guests for you to enjoy. Welcome to Spring Kitchen. Hello and welcome. Now, we have a great lineup for you today. We've joined Jason Atherton, who's gone in search of some peas and broad beans for a superb recipe using roasted cod, especially for us. Plus, we take a peek into the BBC Food Archive and join Raymond Blanc for his take on a tortellini with roasted nuts and sage butter. Now, joining me in the studio is one of Wales's finest chefs, and today he's come all the way from North London. It's Bryn Williams. And also joining us is our in-house forager to talk about some of the lovely spring veg and herbs that you can find at this time of year. It's Rupert Burdock. Hello, chaps. How are we?
How are you doing?
Good, good. Springtime. You happy about that, Bryn?
Green veg, green, green, green.
Green, green, green.
Brilliant. Yeah, everything's been allowed to grow. Nothing's been cut back yet.
Fantastic. OK, now, we have two guest stars with us today from the new comedy drama, Trying Again. It's Joyner and Chris Addison. How are we doing, guys? Happy?
Yeah, good.
Springtime, you love it?
Yeah, absolutely love it.
And food?
And food more.
We love that a lot.
We love food a lot.
Yeah.
Brilliant. OK.
The spring bit isn't
It's
the thing
essential.
that brought us
Food
here,
is
it's the
essential.
kitchen bit.
It's the
kitchen
fact
is what
that
brought us
people
here.
are cooking food.
Yeah.
OK, Bryn, what are you going to be cooking?
Well, I'll be cooking peas, jewels and mint, and we're going to glaze it all up. And then we're going to do a nice Sid scallop. We're going to slice it up with some raw shallots, so like a ceviche dressing, nice and light. So it's quite very seasonal and very green, very light in flavour, but loads of flavour as well.
That sounds fantastic. Can't wait to see that. And then later on, I'm going to be doing a recipe with some Douglas fir pine. I'll be making a Douglas fir pine custard with a blood orange curd and a coconut tuile. Now, Rupert, we're going to come and talk to you in a little bit about fruit and vegetables and things that are in season. But before that, Joe and Chris, you come with me. We're going to do a bit of cooking. Lead the way, guys. There we go. Do part yourself in the middle. A bit of a rose between two thorns. Sorry, Chris. I was calling you a thorn then.
Not taken.
Yeah. OK, so the first dish we're going to be doing is a bit of grilled sardine, very simple salad, some grilled lettuce and some samphire. So, samphire, what can you tell us about that, Rupert?
Well, Tom, it's a member of the okra family, so it's high in protein. It's got a good mouth feel, as they'd say in Japan. Nice round tips to it, nice hollow vacuoles inside. And it also can be found in Britain on mud flats at the seaside.
Mud flats at the seaside. You have to make sure you know what you're picking, though. Have you ever been foraging, guys?
No, not
No,
deliberately.
only in my own garden.
No, only in your own garden.
Amongst the weeds.
Does that count?
Yeah, well,
I remember
There is
planting...
one. I've got wild garlic. you
wild
know.
garlic in your garden?
Yeah.
That counts as foraging?
Absolutely. Gardens are the first place to start when you're looking for wild food.
There you go. But you do have to know what you're getting, or take Rupert
Well, I
with
didn't.
you.
It was there for years until my mum came round and went, oh, I'm looking for some of that. We'll have some of that.
So your mum is a big fan of cooking?
My mum's great because she's always grown everything as well since I was a kid. So it's not until I'm kind of now when it's all trendy, that I realise how lucky I was having such organic upbringing.
Yeah.
She grows everything.
And Chris, your background, your family background of food, is it food-led?
Yeah, lots of food. My gran was from Austria, so we had a lot of Middle European food. We had quite a lot of, you know, schnitzel and goulash and all of that. It's a lot of my childhood memories.
That's fantastic. And then, at the minute, the two of you have been working on a show together.
Yes.
Trying Again.
Yes, Trying Again.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's a grown-up romantic comedy. Is that right? Is
That's
that fair?
right. I think that's fair.
Okay. In which we play a couple who are kind of supposed to be together, but they're trying to get their lives back on track after Meg, who you play,
See what you did there.
has had a little wobble, had an affair. So we're trying to get our lives back on
So
track.
you actually co-wrote this?
I co-created it. So I mean, the wonderful Simon Blackwell, who actually sat there and wrote out the jokes. We sort of sat in a room and decided we really wanted to make as I say, a grown-up romantic comedy, and how we were going to go about doing that. Something that he could write and I could be in, basically.
OK. So it's based on a couple, one's had an affair,
Yeah.
and they're trying to piece their lives back together. I think
Yeah.
we've got a small clip coming up of when you've been advised by a marriage guidance counsellor to go away.
Paula has sent us away, yeah.
Paula has sent you away.
Some
Let's
me
have a little
time.
look.
Welcome. How can I help yourselves?
Ourselves are Matt Aldridge and Meg Malloy.
We're just checking in.
Ah, yes. You're one of Paula's couples. You're booked in for the full spa package.
Are we?
That's what we include for these. For couples that are booked via Paula.
Right.
That's the spa and restaurant itinerary for today and tomorrow. I hope that's acceptable to yourselves.
Okay.
And we do have scented candles and essential massage oils offered as a complimentary complement within the room environment.
Thanks.
Not a problem at all. First floor, room 8. Good luck with everything.
It's very awkward. Very
She's
awkward
so good.
situation.
Yeah, things haven't been great for them at that point, have they?
Yeah.
In the bedroom area,
Yeah,
and that's the counsellors clearly told everybody in the hotel.
Everybody knows why they're
Everybody
there.
knows why they're there.
Everybody
No pressure.
knows why they're there. So, but we know you, Joy, from actually spending a lot of time in EastEnders.
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years. That is a long time. That is.
7 years, yeah.
And you've left in a couple of years ago, a year
No,
ago?
last year.
Last year.
This week last year, I think.
Did you leave under a cloud, or is there space for you to go back?
Well, you always leave under a cloud, really, don't you? But not in a coffin, no. So
Not in a
there's
coffin. So there
possibility.
is space. There is
There is
space.
room.
A coffin is not always a barrier to coming back in so
No, it's not, is it? Bobby Ewing, for one.
Bobby Ewing, yeah.
Okay, so what I have got going on here, I have some gem lettuce that is on a char grill. And we're just trying to get, for me, lettuce is fantastic, but a good thing to do with lettuce is always cook it. So it's on a char grill, giving a lot of flavour. The sardines, we're just grilling, just to get a nice bit of taste and flavour that goes through them.
You know,
And we're
Tom,
just going to flake it all up and make it into a salad.
the sardines, right? Good thing to know about sardines is that farmed salmon eat 4 times their body weight in sardines, which is a waste of fish.
How do they get the tins open?
You got him on that one.
So, yeah. The sardines, they're a fantastic fish. They're amazing. They're around this time of year. They've got that beautiful... They're high in omega-3 oils. They taste fantastic. They've got this beautiful kind of strong flavour, but this way we're kind of flaking it down, and that charred flavour helps to mix it all together. Are you a big fan of sardines, Bryn?
I love sardines. You know, it's one of those fish there. We don't use enough of them, really. I think there's so much flavour in there. I think the bones is a bit of an issue for some people, but the flavour of the fish, especially this time of year, is fantastic.
They're also very, very good value for money. They're also very good value for money. OK, so I'm just making a little bit of a dressing using some red wine vinegar, some Dijon mustard and some olive oil, and I'm just bringing it together to kind of make an emulsion, which is what we're aiming at doing. You're looking a little...
Get some bread.
Yeah.
So
get some
put bread in our pockets,
When
just so when you're not looking.
Don't worry, we can sort out some bread for you. That's no problem at all. And then, Chris, you spend a lot of your time on comedy chat shows, 8 out of 10 cats, and have I got news for you? And
Yeah, I'm a regular on Mock the Week and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
On
it's...
Mock the Week, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's... yeah, that's exactly what I do, and it's good fun. It's really good fun. It's quite a challenge. It's quite a sort of feisty, lively thing. But it's also kind of those shows are exciting me. They're very much kind of the moment. I know they're repeated every night on channels that we can't mention. Yeah. But they're sort of the moment. And the nice thing about going back and making a show like Trying Again is that you can make something that's a bit longer and can last longer as well, I think.
Yeah, OK. So, samphire. You've had samphire before?
Yeah, I
I
love
was going to ask
samphire.
why you had it in the ice, because I was interested
All
to
I've
hear
done-
that it was protein.
Yeah, so all I've done...
To stop it cooking, or is
Yeah,
it...
basically, it's just
Okay.
been blanched, and to stop it cooking, it keeps it nice
Oh,
and
I
green.
see. I didn't realise you just cooked it. I missed
Yeah,
that bit.
I just dropped it into a little bit of salted water and just blanched it. And what it does is it just takes that kind of edge off it, because there's parts of it that can be quite woody.
Yeah.
And then into this, I'm just putting some large flat leaf picked parsley. And then we're just going to... a little squeeze of lemon juice. And then just going to take these sardines and these gem lettuces off. We're not trying to cook all the lettuce all the way through. What we're trying to do is just give that kind of beautiful charred flavour. We're then just going to roughly chop.
So that's not going to be wilted and awful now, is
No,
it?
it's soft around the outside, but still kind of raw in the middle, so it still has a little bit of a crunch to it.
Right.
Then we're going to grab these sardines. We're going to flake them up. Now, a lot of people worry about the bones of sardines, but the pin bones are so very, very small. And actually doing it this way, it means that the bones, you can kind of pick the bones out completely. And this
I think that's what always
just
puts
kind
me
of,
off these.
Yeah, my mum
you
always
just
has
kind
these
of
on
flake
toast.
Yeah.
sardine from.
If you get them from the
flap.
fishmongers, Tom, you just ask for them butterflied.
That is-
And what they do, they take the main bone out of the middle and the head off. So you still got the little bones and the little bones, but you ask them butterflied and you can eat them straight away.
The pin bones come out with that.
Well, the pin will stay in, just the backbone that comes out.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And what you do is you kind of end up scraping it down. It looks a little bit like, you know, a Tom and Jerry
Yeah,
cartoon
yeah, yeah.
fish. That's what you end up with. So, but it comes off very easily, and the fish just flakes off.
See, I'm always afraid of doing this kind of thing because I know that I'm going to end up serving it up and then spending the meal going,
No, there's honestly, there's not too many. Because of the nature of the fish as well, the bones are very, very small. And that, for an eating point of view, they're not going to get stuck in your throat or anything like that. OK, and then we're just going to add a little bit of this dressing to it. And then a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And then we're going to serve it. Guys, come on up. You can have a little taste of this as well.
that's great.
And we're just going to fold it together so that pieces of fish stay nice and thick. We're just going to serve it in the bowl. Very nice, beautiful flavours of the samphire that's cold, the hot fish,
You've been here before.
the warm lettuce. Yeah, he knows where the knives and forks are.
his openings.
Rufus been here before, he knows where they are. The forager man, he'll come straight in there. That's the thing is, he'll come straight in for the samphire and won't take the fish. That's the thing. OK, guys, there we go. Just a very simple, lovely kind of spring-like salad. Get in there, have a taste, dive in, don't be shy.
I'm going to have a bit of the fish for definite.
You've got to have the fish, yeah.
Happy? Tasty?
Rupert's making extraordinary noises. He's
Delicious?
definitely
OK, now, in every show, we're getting out and about and visiting some of our favourite chefs on their home turf. Today, we joined Jason Atherton in search of some veg at the market before making a stunning recipe with roasted cod.
Listen, please. I'm going to
It's time for some
Lovely
stunning.
are just perfect for this time of year. You try this at home.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atherton. Looked absolutely
Lovely,
stunning.
wasn't it? Yeah.
And a beautiful little tip about the creme fraiche at the end. Really nice acidity comes to it. Lightens
Just
everything
lightens
up.
everything up, yeah.
It's
definitely,
lovely.
yeah.
OK, so it's time for somebody else to cook. And today, it's Mr. Bryn Williams. What are you going to be cooking for us, Chief?
We're going to do a glazed peas, girolles and mint with a seared scallop on top.
OK, seared scallop on top. I'll get cracking
So you
with
open the scallop and then maybe slice the banana shallot into rounds, then a bit of lemon juice, salt, sugar, a bit of olive oil. What I'm going to do, we've got some chicken stock here at the boil, some raw peas. You could use frozen if you wanted to, but we're in banging season, so we're going to cook the raw ones. We're going to cook the raw peas and the mushrooms all together in one pan. So we're keeping all that flavour going there. So a bit of chicken stock, peas are in, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we're just going to prep some of these nice, beautiful, small girolles.
Girole mushrooms.
Yeah.
So girole mushrooms. Let's come to it. Mr. Rupert Burdock, the mushroom man. Tell us a little bit about girolles. You've got them in front of you, Chief.
I do indeed, yeah. Girolles would be known by everyone else outside the restaurant industry as chanterelle. Be careful, though, because...
Why is that? Why is it we call them girolles, you call them chanterelles? Why is that?
Oh, because you're wrong.
Taxi.
There we go. Just been told. As
Yeah.
chefs, we've got it. We've got it wrong. So the difference between you call those girolles, chanterelles,
yeah.
and as chefs we call them girolles.
Exactly.
But we're wrong.
We're wrong.
Okay. So we're wrong.
Be careful, though, because there are some other species, small yellow species of mushrooms out there that will kill you.
Okay.
So make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you go out maybe with a local forager or learn in your books. But as long as you give mushrooms a lot of respect, you'll be okay. They grow in unspoiled woodland, which unfortunately there isn't much unspoiled woodland left anymore. So if you find some unspoiled woodland, you'll find some chanterelle most likely there. They have ridges instead of gills, which when you get into mushrooms, you'll see this. Unlike the classic sort of like pages of a book of a mushroom, they've just got these ridges there. It's a good identification thing. And also they smell of apricots a bit.
They
when they're
do
very
smell of
fresh.
apricots a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, they do smell of it. They have a beautiful, rich kind of flavour that comes from them as well. They are probably my favourite mushroom.
I think this time of year as well, they're all nice and small as well, so they go really, really well with this dish. They match the size of the peas, you know?
Yeah.
So you want to try and get all those small ones. So the peas been there for a minute, minute and a half. We're just going to cook the rolls in there as well. So while they're cooking, I've got some little bit of semi-whipped cream, and I've got an egg yolk. And what we're going to do, once the peas and the rolls are cooked, we're going to take them out, add a little bit of cream to the stock to make like a nice light velouté, you could say. Then we're going to add mint and egg yolk and cream to the mix. That's what we're going to do.
So kind of making almost like a pea-like custard, I suppose.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So we can make sure these get cooked all
So
the way
you've
through.
got quite a lot going up on the restaurant. Bryn, it's probably been quite a while since I've been there. I actually, before you owned it, I used to work there. I worked there as a chef. I was going to say a young chef, but I wasn't a young chef. 1999 I was there. So, and then since then you've taken on some changes and own it. And tell us what's going on.
Well, I bought it 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago now. And we just closed for January for a full month. We had a full refurb. We've added a chef table and a private dining room there. So the chef table's fantastic. People sitting literally in the kitchen. You're literally 2 feet away from the pass. So it's not one of these chef tables where you're a distance away, you're right in the middle.
So you could actually get them to do a little bit of prep work?
Yeah, we get them up to cook their own fish, so if they can't complain at the end of the meal because they cooked it, they plate their own desserts up. So it's a lot of fun, really, a lot of fun.
And cookbooks, you've got, well, you've had 2 out already, but the last one is it's all about vegetables, which recipes like this are quite vegetable-based.
For the love of veg, but you're talking about the 3rd book, aren't you? That's where you get.
Well, I'm edging to the 3rd book because it's probably easiest to say that it's probably specialised. Is that probably the best?
Well, if you want to call the Welsh public special, yeah, do a Welsh book, so all in a Welsh language.
Cookery book, all in a Welsh language.
Great.
So it's.
If you've got pictures, we're fine. Pictures and numbers will be grand.
If it's got pictures, I'll be fine as well. So we're just going to add some of the velouté to the egg yolks. So make sure you start the cooking process off there. If you want to get the scallop,
I'll start cooking the scallop.
And this is all done, so all nice and warm. So we've added the stock to the egg. I'm just going to pour in the peas and the girolles in there, and the mint. I've picked a lot of mint in it as well, in there. We're just going to lighten up. You could use creme fraiche again with this, but we're just going to do a little bit of cream in there.
Yeah, creme fraiche works very well, doesn't it? So you've got the cooking liquor, you've got peas, you've got the girolles.
Bit
a few egg yolks.
Yeah. And then while the scallop is cooking, you could put this under the grill if you wanted to. Because it's warm, we don't need to. If you're doing it at home, you prepared it in advance. You could put it into the bowls, and it's literally underneath the grill, and that would heat it all up and glaze and cook the egg at the same time.
OK, so it's almost a bit like a savoury custard that you're making.
Yeah, you could say it's a quiche without the pastry, really, and you glaze it up as well, so it's a lot quicker, a lot easier. And then getting all those fragrance and the smells of the mint and the egg in there. It's all about keeping those flavours fresh. I think sometimes when you have a quiche, even though, I love a quiche, but it's quite heavy, quite rich. This is a lighter version, really, of a quiche
without
mix.
the pastry.
Yeah, and it's a bit lighter as well, to be honest.
So, in your new book,
yeah,
are there any microwave recipes? You might be. I found this out. It's the only Welsh word that I know. The Welsh word for microwave.
OK.
Do you know what it is?
It's microwave.
No, it's not.
Popty ping.
Oh, I do know that. I can't believe I've forgotten that.
Popty ping.
I was at university.
It works, doesn't it? In translation works.
You understand it. We have there's a couple of chefs in my kitchen actually at work that we call them chef de pings.
Chef de pings.
Because if they could get away with it, they'd stick it in the microwave.
I imagine they don't, do they, when you're standing next to it?
No. We haven't even got one. We haven't even got one.
So, the mixture's in the pan. You can put this under the grill if you really wanted to. So we're going to use a blowtorch. And what it'll do, it'll cook the egg and glaze it as well. So you get that nice colour to the mixture.
So that warm cream going onto the egg yolks actually helped to cook it, and now you're just finishing it off.
Definitely, yeah. And I think as well, it's got a bit of colour on it. It looks a lot more appetising as well. So by the time you've cooked the scallop, we're nearly there. We are. The scallop's in here. I'm just going to add a little bit of butter into it to finish glazing it. And then use a little bit of lemon juice as well. And this is the dish, if you did at home, you could have it all ready to go. You just put this underneath the grill, last minute, cook your scallop. Doesn't need 2 chefs to do 1 plate of food at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you scallop fans? Are you a big fan of shellfish?
I am a scallop fan. I've only ever cooked them once, and I got the guy on the fishmongers on Portobello Road to de-shell them for me and everything.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I cooked them, and he said to me the best way to have them is just with bacon and, you know, keeping it simple. And they were for a starter for my friends I hadn't seen for a long time. And when she came round, she announced she was pregnant. And I felt really worried because I thought, I've never cooked this shellfish before. What if I give you something? But it was fine. She ate them, and it was all
They're
right.
very simple to cook, very easy. The tricky part is opening them like I did at the beginning. Now, I opened that actually with a blunt old kitchen knife. Now, you learn actually as a young commie chef.
Yeah.
Because normally you start with a very sharp knife, and as you do it, if you're not very good at doing it, you cut the scallop in half, and the head chef's not very happy. So you learn...
Or you cut your finger.
Or you cut your finger. So you learn to do it with a blunt knife, and then you're always going to be all right.
So the scallop is cooked, a little bit of lemon juice, pinch of salt. I'm just going to carve the scallop as well. Just cut it in half into mouth-sized pieces more than anything else.
Fantastic.
And turn it over.
The good thing about scallop is it's all, you know, that one big piece of meat. It's absolutely
good protein,
delicious.
lovely, yeah. I'm just going to finish off with these. They're like fresh pickled shallots in a ceviche dressing, which is, you know, the lemon juice and the...
Bit of lemon juice, bit of sugar, bit of salt, and a little bit of good English rapeseed oil.
Yeah, and just to finish off, a few pea shoots. Let's go with the peas. And finish off with a little bit of rapeseed oil. And that is it.
That's lovely. Guys, come on over. Come and have a little taste. Come and have a little taste. Racing over. Let's
we
get
know where these are now.
Let's get some spoons.
We know where these are.
We know what we're doing now.
Go on then, Bryn. Get on in. Let's have a little
Wow,
taste.
look at that.
Have a little taste of the scallop. The
Fabulous.
beautiful sweetness of the scallop
try
going
the
with the
mushroom as well.
kind of eggy custard is delicious.
Yeah, the mushrooms I'd go for as well. It's all about the mushrooms, the peas, the scallop.
Oh, wow.
A bit of all of it.
That's genuinely really springy, isn't it?
Thanks very much.
Genuinely.
really
Well
fresh.
done, well done, chef. Yeah, well done. So that the flavour of that stock kind of takes on the peas and the girolles and all that kind of bit. Sorry, chanterelles.
And you're not wasting the
peas and
flavour,
the
and it
mint,
all goes into the stock.
That's it. That's it. OK, so whilst we eat this, let's take a trip into the BBC's food back catalogue as we join the irrepressible Raymond Blanc for a tortellini with roasted nuts and sage butter.
Pulse.
Lovely. Just need
Water.
so
Facing some real keys.
my God, it's lovely.
Thank you very much, Chef. Absolutely stunning, that, didn't it? A Frenchman
legend.
making a
I
great
know,
Italian classic. OK. So now, throughout this series, we're showcasing some real key seasonal spring ingredients that are at their absolute best at this time of year. Today, I'm going to be doing a recipe using Douglas fir pine. I'm going to be making a Douglas fir pine custard with a blood orange curd and some coconut tweel. And Bryn's going to make them for me. Come on, Bryn, you can get on it.
I'll make the tweels.
You make the tweels.
OK.
So a tweel is essentially...
Posh biscuit.
A posh biscuit.
It's a biscuit, isn't
okay,
it?
so it's going to be coconut, icing sugar, flour, butter, and egg whites, basically mixed together. And we're going to be using Douglas fir pine in a custard. Now, this is Douglas fir pine. Tell us about it, Rupert.
What you got there, Tom, is posh Christmas tree. And what I've got here is ordinary Christmas tree. You can eat them both. Especially the green shoots at the end at best, or you can cook them like you would rosemary.
So you can eat the Christmas tree?
Absolutely, yeah, get it down, yeah. But only if you have it growing in your back garden, you've replanted it and you've got the buds.
So not at the end of Christmas?
No, and very important not to eat a yew tree, which looks a bit like that, or you'll probably die.
Right, OK, and we don't want any of that. We don't want any death. We need to know. You need to know which one is a yew tree and which one is the one that you want. Douglas fir pine.
Die to the end of your piece.
That's why there's not many
It's a dangerous occupation,
Yeah.
Don't
Top
mess
10
with me.
dangerous jobs, #1 is foraging. OK, so what we're actually going to do, it has a beautiful... Have you ever eaten pine before?
No.
OK, so it has a fantastic, almost citrus-like flavour to it. It is very citrusy, and it's floral and herby, all mixed together. And we're going to make a custard with it, and then make it into a fool. So a fool is kind of like a whipped-up custard mix.
These buds look like those little ones that you squeeze and they smell of pineapple. You know the ones on
Yes,
the
yeah,
floor?
pineapple weed.
Pineapple weed. Oh, there you
No
go.
relation
There you go.
at all.
But are they not? Because
No.
they look... No, I mean...
You're both making this up. There's no such thing.
There It is, and it smells really strongly of pineapple. I was just wondering if I squeezed it, whether it would smell of pineapple.
It's a Christmas tree.
It's a member of the chamomile family, pineapple weed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
No, it
why
smells of nothing.
And that's why it smells so nice.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm going to be making a custard. What I've got in here is some cream and some milk, equal parts. And I brought it up to the boil, and I've infused it with some of the Douglas fir pine. And then I'm whisking together some egg yolks and some sugar, just to make a custard. Now, Bryn is all over making the posh biscuits, the twirls, with a little plastic lid that he's cut a hole out of. So he's made the mix. He's just spreading it to make a shape and going to put them into the oven and just bake them until they go nice and crispy and crunchy on the outside. And then we're going to make a blood orange curd. The same as making like a lemon curd, but just using blood oranges. And blood oranges, although they clearly don't grow in this country because they look like something that comes from somewhere hot and warm, but they are massively in season right now. So blood oranges are in season right now. And Bryn's going to make a curd with them. And cream and milk is just coming out to the boil. So the idea, Chris, for trying again.
Yes.
As a co-writer or an idea, where did that come from?
Well, Simon and I wanted to write, to make a show that was about, we wanted to make a grown-up romantic comedy, as I said, and we started to think, you know, about the point in a relationship where people don't know whether they're going to go on with it or not. And we wanted to find, you know, it needed to be about something, so we thought we'd make it about an affair. And then we thought, wouldn't it be more interesting if she'd had the affair? Because you often see men having affairs in shows, but not so often women. So, and once we did that, it all kind of started to fall into place quite quickly. If the question you're asking, Tom,
Yes.
is it from real life?
Yes.
Not either of our real lives, but it's very close to stuff that just happens to other people, I think.
I think the idea as well with it is that you don't have to be some big villain to have an affair, and that it can happen to any decent couple at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, I don't try and bury you alive.
No,
in it,
you don't.
so
Which is an option that I've tried.
Yeah.
So do you two know each other before filming, or is it a new formed relationship and friendship that you have?
We have a newly formed and based around culinary.
Food, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a food-based
it's a
relationship.
food-based relationship. We ate our way around Kendal whilst filming, didn't we?
So it's all filmed up in Kendal in the Lakes?
We did the first couple of weeks on location in Kendal, and we came back down here and did stuff in studios. But Joe and I were the only people who were constantly having to sort of stay away. Yeah. So often it would just end up with everybody going home, and then we'd go...
Faced with a vending machine in a hotel.
Yeah, we'd go out. We
we
ate out most nights.
Every night
and
for 2 months.
It went like this. You said, in makeup in the morning, I'm not doing that again.
I'm not eating again. I'm not
and
drinking
at 4
again.
o'clock in the evening, where should we go?
Really?
Every day.
Every day, that's fine. But there's some fantastic restaurants up there, and
yeah.
I mean, and as terms of foraging, there's one of the greatest chefs in this country that's based up there. And Simon Rogan, whose restaurant is called L'Enclume, and his restaurant is all based on fantastic British seasonal ingredients, and a lot of which is actually foraged. And the Lakes is a great area for
Fantastic.
foraging.
There are lots of unimproved grasslands there where they didn't plant any rice seed or fertiliser ever. Just how grassland should be.
And that's perfect for foraging.
Perfect for foraging, yeah.
Perfect
For
for
mushrooms
foraging.
and wild plants.
So then that relationship with food has continued, and you continue to eat out.
We
and
continue to eat.
Yeah.
Continue to eat. Continue to eat.
Eating.
Continue to eat and eat out every day.
This is the only publicity we're doing for this
Yeah,
show.
we're only doing food-based shows, basically.
But your background of food, I read, Chris, is a little bit more dodgy, shall we say? Packet chicken noodle soups, is that?
Packet chicken noodle soup. That is one of my favourite things to this day.
You didn't?
Yeah, I love a packet chicken noodle soup with an egg dropped in and stirred in at the last minute.
I see. You made it your own.
Posh it up. So a basic packet and
A
posh it
grammar
up with
school.
an egg.
Grammar school version.
I mean, as a kid, that was my favourite. I could eat an entire litre packet of a litre of one of those packets makes. I still can, with a load of black pepper and white.
They don't have as much salt in as they used to, though, because I did try one recently and
Really?
I was sad. I was disappointed. If I'm honest, I added salt.
I love it. And even now, you know, one of my favourite things is chicken ramen or a Japanese chicken noodle dish. I'm sure it's from then. I love it.
So what we've got here, I have made a custard that has been infused with the Douglas fir pine. So it's kind of taken on this lovely herbal flavour. And then Bryn is bringing together a curd. Now, the curd, Bryn has got some butter, some whole eggs, some sugar, and the juice and zest of the blood oranges. Now, the custard, we leave it to chill. And then when it's chilled, it looks a little bit like this. And this. Now, this This is a piece of kitchen equipment that everybody should have. One, it's really good fun. It's a cool thing to do, and they're not that expensive, so you can get them online. What we're going to do, this is going to aerate the custard.
Fizzy custard?
Well, kind of fizzy custard. Kind of like, almost like a...
Custard
Sell it to us, Tom.
Yeah, don't you worry. Honestly, once you see this, the first thing you do is go out and buy one. And also, it's one of those bits of kitchen equipment, and I know you look on cookery shows and you see bits of kitchen equipment, you think, I've got to get one of those, and you use it once, and then you put it in the cupboard underneath the sink, and it stays there forever.
Yeah.
Well, this bit of kitchen equipment isn't that big, so there's plenty of room for it to fit under the cupboard and under the sink.
Okay, good point.
A good point. OK, so the lid goes on. So that is the infused custard. The lid goes on, and then into that we put some compressed air.
Like cappuccino custard.
Like cappuccino custard, exactly the same. So you get, like, in coffee shops, the same sort of thing.
Is that
so where they...
What have you got? It's actually a gas canister.
It is actually little gas canisters.
It's such a gadget. This is such a boy's thing.
It's such
My
a
brother
boy's
would love
thing. It's
this
such
and
a
use it
boys
once.
thing.
Boys and toys.
The boys and toys. I tell you what,
That's quite
putting compressed air into custards, there's nothing better for a chef.
could you
It's
use-
brilliant fun.
Could you use a soda stream?
Possibly. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had a go. I think you'd probably make a big mess of the machine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think maybe too many gadgets involved there.
Yeah, OK.
OK, and then we just give it a quick shake. How are those twheels doing, Bryn?
About a minute. And a half,
About a
chef,
minute.
Ready.
Which is all right. OK. We're shaking, putting the air through it. We'll leave it to the side. Now, this could sit in the fridge for ages. Thank you very much, Chef. Now, this is some of the curd that we've made earlier. So it's exactly the same. So it's like a lemon curd, but just with the orange, just blood orange. We're just folding it through. You can see those lovely bits of the zest coming through, lovely colour. And this is going to go into the bottom of this bowl. Like that. And then we're going to chop a little bit more of this Douglas fir pine to garnish the top and give a little bit of flavour going through. Now, Chris, the thick of it,
Yes, sir.
that was a huge success.
Yeah. It went quite well.
Yeah.
But it's done, sadly.
Yeah, done sadly, but then went on to be a movie as well.
Yeah, we made a sort of spin-off called In the Loop, which kind of sort of stands alone as its own thing, with some of the people in it playing different characters and so on. But yeah, and then nowadays we spend quite a lot of time with the same team behind it in America, making a show called Veep, which is like an American cousin.
Stay there a minute.
I will.
This is the dangerous
show
bit.
us,
Don't
show us,
come
come on.
As soon as it comes out, come on up. We're just going to give it. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, see
Look
what
at
you
that.
did there.
So come on up, guys. You can have a taste of this. So it's nice and fluffy. Come and have a taste.
Wow, look at that.
We're going to put that onto
That's
the
very
top.
clever.
Bryn's got the twills.
They're
We're going to do
ready.
a little bit of the
nearly
grated
ready.
orange on the top. Now we're doing this some twills that we've done earlier, guys.
Could you use
There
that
we
for
go.
mayonnaise?
You could use that for mayonnaise. You can use it for everything. Get in there. There's some spoons. Get tasting. Let me know what you think. There we go. Bryn's taking them out. Put them onto a bit of a rolling pin.
Ooh,
Should I try it on the tweel?
it's really frothy, isn't it?
Really
That's like,
fluffy.
Yeah,
That's
really, really
amazing.
light.
Wow,
Happy?
that's gorgeous.
You love it. OK. Well, that's all from us on
expect that at
today's
all.
Spring Kitchen. A big thank you to Bryn Williams, Rupert Burdock,
get to this.
Joe Joyner and Chris Addison, and, of course, the amazing Jason Atherton. All of today's
Down to the
recipes are on the website. Please go to bbc.co.uk/Spring Kitchen. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.